Hi, so we have a problem. Schools already have a attendance system and now a lot of them are no longer doing the normal headcount like we see back in high school. But instead, many top institutes like UCL, Warwick and also Nottingham have already moved to automated systems like card readers, QR code check-ins or even apps like Instead. Now, even with all of that, students still manage to skip classes. One study by UiTM Kota Baru actually found that 81% of students had been absent from classes at some point. So, the issue isn't that schools don't have the system, it's the systems being used right now are easy to get around. And when that happens, attendance stops reflecting who's actually in class. Look, these automated systems aren't failing because the technology is old, they're failing because they lack actual attendance. First, what I like to call is touch and go. No relation to the company itself, of course. It's with card readers. It's simple as handing your ID to a friend. One person walks in with 5 cards and suddenly 5 people are not present while the rest are nowhere to be found. Next, we have the QR code lead. QR codes are meant to be scanned in person, but they're easily screenshot and blasted to multiple WhatsApp groups. You could be in bed and still be checked into a lecture. And finally, we have the ghost scans. Many systems track the start of the class. Students wait 5 minutes, students scan in, then go back to whatever they want to do. Since there's no checkout, the system thinks they stayed for the whole session. Which made us wonder, how are actually students faking attendance with everything in place? So, we decided to ask students themselves, how are people still getting out of these systems?
Okay, basically, from what I see, we can use 2 devices like a tablet or a phone and stay at a corner outside the classroom and take attendance for 2 devices. And sometimes, like for some manual class, you will take the attendance from signing your friend's name.
Well, for what I've seen, they usually tend to because the range for the inside is quite wide, so you can stand outside of class and pretty much wait until they open the attendance for you.
I think they turn up at the end of lectures and just hide outside the door with the Instat, and then once the lecturer turns it on, they press it and then run away before the lecturer sees them. Or they can have 2 devices sometimes and give it to their friends, and then when the lecturer puts Instat on, their friend does it for them on the second device.
I feel like some of them would use multiple devices and one person will have multiple devices to help their friends sign in instead for them.
Beyond just getting away with it, these loopholes have a real cost. A research done by University Technology Mart reports that for every single class missed, students' final exam score is expected to decrease by an average of 1.89%. But this is not a student's problem. Universities are losing a massive amount of money on these flawed systems. Data shows that these loopholes cost schools up to $100,000 every single year in wasted administrative time. So, we need a system with no more passing on ID cards, no more sending QR codes, and no more tapping in just to rough it out. We need a system so lecturers don't have to be the attendance police anymore. So as you can see, the current systems are pretty broken. Most tech out there just assumes that a scan equals to a student in the seat. There's a huge gap between checking in and actually being there. It's not about a new gadget, it's about finally making sure that data on the screen actually matches the student in the room. No other system is really closing that gap right now, which is why our main idea is simple. We don't track check-ins, we track actual presence. Instead of trusting one-time scan, we've designed a system that removes the loopholes students are exploiting. Now, this is something schools actually want because attendance isn't just a formality, it directly affects students' performance, engagement, and even funding in some cases. And right now, they're spending time and money on systems that don't fully work. Our main target is universities and private colleges that are tired of being cheated. When you look at the scale of this, it's definitely not a small problem. Skipping class is a global issue, so the market for a better system is wide open. There are thousands of universities worldwide already spending billions on campus tax to fix this. So the demand is clearly there, but a great solution is only half the battle. We still need a smart way to get schools to use it. So our market plan is simple. We start small. Instead of asking you to buy hundreds of units at once, we run a test run in just one faculty like business or engineering. Once we show them how much attendance actually improves, we use those results to convince the rest of the campus, since it only plugs it into what they already have without replacing everything. It's an easy yes for the school.
So how do we fix this? Meet Tajie, a dedicated physical device that sits right beside the classroom door. Unlike a phone app that can be used from dorm rooms, this requires the students to actually be in the class. This flow is simple and fast. As student walks in, the device performs a quick face scan. No lines, no cards, just instant recognition. Your attendance is then simply recorded the second you enter. But we don't just stop there. Now to beat the ghost scan mentioned earlier, students will have to scan out when the lecture ends. The system calculates the exact percentage of the lecture you've attended. If you stay for 80% of the lecture, you pass. If you scan in and vanish after 10 minutes, the system flags it as a fail. It's all about the actual time you spend learning, not just about showing up for the first 5 minutes. It's also cheat-proof. It uses 3D sensors to make sure it's a real student, not just a picture on the screen. Now we know what you're thinking. Is it too strict? No, not at all. It's actually more fair. The system's smart enough to allow a short break windows. So if you need to go to the toilet or take a quick call, you won't be penalized.
And we know the Wi-Fi here in Nottingham can be a bit unreliable, so we added an offline mode. If the internet drops, the device just saves everything locally and syncs up later. It's a win-win. No more QR codes in WhatsApp groups, no more touch and goes with your friend's ID, just attendance.
However, our products have several pros and cons. For the pros being that it records actual student presence, it is very easy to use, and there are no ghost scans. But for the disadvantages, it is expensive, has privacy issues, and can cause crowding effect.
But even with those challenges, trade-off is what really matters. And compared to existing solutions like Insta, what makes a difference is it doesn't rely on trust, it relies on actual presence. While other systems automate the process, they don't verify the person. That removes the need for lecturers to monitor attendance. It gives them back the time, reduces the paperwork, and provides kind of data that schools can actually trust. And most importantly, it's easy to adopt. It's a simple device that can be installed in classrooms without changing the system schools already use. So instead of asking whether students checked in, we're able to answer the real question: were they actually there? Because at the end of the day, attendance should reflect who's actually in class, not who's best at gaming the system.